I'm out today because I found a really awesome spot full of chickweed, and I wanted to show you. It's early spring, and I wanted to show you a little bit about chickweed so that you can get out and start collecting it. This right here behind me is actually a blend of chickweed and dead nettle. You've got the purple dead nettle in here, and then the chickweed is here, and it has, I'll get one that is just green and just has the flower. So this is chickweed here. You can see the little white flower that's there. I'm gonna take you over away from here and show you how you can tell what chickweed is, how to identify it. It's a creeper. It'll go along the ground, and it's going to be best in the spring and the fall. It's so wet out here right now that I'm having to tiptoe kind of along boards as I get out of the muck. We kind of need a rowboat to be outside right now. I wanted to show you on the compost pile there where I found that really beautiful bunch of chickweed. This is huge chickweed, and I was afraid that if I just showed that to you in this video that you might not have that so huge and you wouldn't recognize your own. This is chickweed growing in my garden right in here, and you can see how really it's more of a creeper. It doesn't get as huge unless it's on something that has abundant nutrition. So this chickweed though, whether it is growing along the ground or whether it's huge like this, I can't wait to pack a basket full of this. This is what you're looking for when we talk about chickweed, Stellaria media. I'm gonna find a spot that I can set this camera down and show you a few things. Chickweed is really good for water weight. It's one of those things that everybody likes to use for weight loss. It does help in reducing your water weight gain. It's a diuretic. We have a lot of diuretics that bloom in the spring, and this is a really good one. So chickweed will help with pushing water through your kidneys and reducing water weight in your body. It also is really good at processing fat. It's actually good in the endocrine system. It is supporting your thyroid, and by supporting your thyroid health, it especially with hypothyroidism, it will activate some of the way that we process fat in the body. Every time I try and get on a video, I've got a cat coming, my hair's in my face. I don't do this for a living or anything. Chickweed helps your thyroid, and part of how its action with the thyroid is that it's helping the body's fat stores to be released. So it's when our leptin, our fat, is being used properly in the body, it allows the thyroid to be operating appropriately as well. So that's the action by which this supports your thyroid health. Chickweed is really good at moving things that are stuck throughout the body. It does that through moving the water through your body. It does that through processing fat. It's great topically and also internally to help process fatty tumors like lipomas. It's good in the respiratory system. It's good in the liver. It's good in the digestion. It's good in your kidneys, because it's helping to move waste out of your body. It's not a coincidence that it's showing up in the spring when we are needing to move out the stuck stuff from over the winter. But when we're identifying this, it does have one lookalike here in our area. I'm gonna hold this up and see if we can just see it just down the side here, move this and get the sun on it. Just down the side here is a line of hair. Now you can just see it on the camera. My camera isn't quite fine enough, but there is a line of hair that's running down the side of this stem. And as we turn it, every other part of that stem is smooth. We're looking for a mohawk of hair that's going down the stem. And once it reaches this leaf axil where we've got flowers coming up and leaves coming out, these nodes, the hair will switch to a different side of the stem. So it won't stay on that side of the stem anymore. It'll be on a different part of the stem. And it keeps moving around as we go down in between each of these leaf groupings. Chickweed also, along with the white flowers, you're looking for a creeper that's got these white flowers. They're very small. The petals are very distinct and separate from one another. The flowers will bloom. This is a fun thing about chickweed. They will bloom only when there hasn't been rain within the last 4 hours, or you're not going to have rain within the next 4 hours. So it's a little bit of a weather teller. If your flowers are closed up, it either just rained or it's going to rain within the next 4 hours. Your look-alike plant will not have that bit of fur down in that line on one side of the stem, and it will have a peach or salmon sort of flower. The other little indicator for chickweed is if I break the stem really gently with my nail all around, and then I carefully pull. Let's see if I can do it now that I'm under pressure on film. If I pull this, I'm gonna wind up, you'll see this little space that's happening in between where the stem is breaking apart. We've got a fiber that's running on the inside of that stem that will get released. And you can just see that sticking out here. That is also an indicator that we have Stellaria media chickweed. Now, I can take this into the house and eat it raw. I'm gonna eat it raw right now. It's delicious. It tastes like spring. It tastes like fresh peas or fresh corn on the cob. And it's just got that it's lots of water content, really juicy, really crisp and yummy and sweet. It's delicious in salads. It's amazing as a pesto. This is going to be something that if you want to use it topically, it's really good for rashes. And if you're going to use it for a lipoma or a fatty tumor or deposit in the skin, you're going to want to use it topically. You will want to wilt this and quickly put it into oil. It does start to break down the constituents that are in it pretty quickly. So we want to use it fresh or fresh wilted as much as possible. You can dry this and use it later. It's not that it won't be worth anything. It's just that this one is one of those things that we want to get as fresh as possible. So I can take this in and I can make pesto with it. That's a really big favorite that you'll see people use when they wildcraft this, that they'll turn this into pesto. It's delicious in pesto. I just love to eat it. I will come along and mow it down and enjoy it fresh. Now that I have a freeze dryer in the house, I will be picking this and freeze drying it because I can capture the most constituents and hold them without them degrading through the drying process, and hopefully be able to use that throughout the winter months to help people who have lymphatic issues and stuck toxicity that they can't get out of their liver, folks with holding on to fat deposits, holding on to water retention inappropriately. I will be using chickweed for that. It is also highly nutritive. It even looks like the leaf on these ginormous ones even look a little bit like pea leaves. This is one of my favorite spring plants. And you'll find it in a moist, sort of shady area. If it remains shady, you'll get chickweed longer. As soon as it starts to dry out and it starts to get hot, this just can't hold up to that summer heat. So You only get this in the spring, and it will show up again in the fall when it cools down. So look in that same spot that you find it now in the spring to come back in the fall, and get out and look for it. It is absolutely one of my favorite munching herbs in the spring, and something to look for on your property.